Okay, so here we have my Passion Time project. And my Passion Time project's essential question was, how have computers changed over time? This video will show you what is on my website and how computers have changed over time. So here are some quick pictures of the computers now. So as you can see here, we got really thin computers, and then here, as you can see, there's a big difference between these super big thick computers and the top ones, which are a lot smaller. So let's go into older computers. So here we have the older computers. Some computers had a printer in them, like a fax machine. So they were like fax paper and printed out the fax whenever you want to print. Some computers had floppy disks that stored all the data. So if the computer broke, all your data would be stored on the floppy disk. So what I mean on that, which I will explain that more in the fun facts section. Old computers. This was one of the first computers, and it was huge. Oh my goodness, these computers were so big. They filled about a room, and the computer parts were in those little shelves, as you can see here. There's still a lot of computers just like this one, but like the IBM Watson, that processes so much data, but this was actually pretty slow. So let me show you it really quickly in a bigger picture. Okay, laptops back then were thick and heavy, so they weren't really laptops because they were so big and they're not so portable. They had small screens and were not color, and the back of the computer was the battery in the computer. They also had big keyboards, which is actually pretty nice because the keys in computers now are small and like harder to type on. In my opinion, I like the smaller keys, but here, as you can see, here the keys are sticking out. So how will we go to new computers now? New computers strive to be thin and light, but some computers want to be thick and heavy but super fast. If you have a gaming computer, it's very powerful and expensive. New computers like the Apple MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air are very thin and light, but not as fast as a tower computer. So down here is like a tower computer. As you can see that picture, oh my goodness, it has so much stuff in it. It's so powerful. Some computers like this one are big and powerful. These computers are called tower computers. Tower computers are very powerful. As you can see inside the computer, there are lots of fans because it is very powerful and it can get hot. Other computers are heated with water. Big computers like this are used in situations that have to have a very fast computer to do so. Some of these situations that need this kind of computer are video editing, heavy gaming, and big files. Now let's go into timeline. Today computers are thin and light and fast. They can do pretty much all you want them to do, and you don't have to code them to do something on them. Computers in 2000 are not as big as the ones in 1950 or 1900, but they are still big. If you use one of these computers today, you would be sitting at the chair for hours because it's so slow. The computers in 2000 ran Windows 95 and lower, or Windows 2000 Professional, as you can see here. 1950. Computers in 1950 were huge. The ENIAC was 27 tons and covered 1,800 square feet. There are computers still like this, but much more powerful, as I said, in the older computers. There's still a computer that looks just like this. How would I pull up a quick picture? So here is a picture of the IBM Watson. It is still huge, really big, but not too big, because as you can see, it's like a whole room. It's not, the computers back then, if you can see here, are so much bigger. People had to work on them. As you can see, that person is like, it's still a big room. It's like 1,800 square feet. That's big. So here we have the fun facts. So here we have the old computers. If your computer broke, you could just replace it because all your information would be on the floppy disks. So let's say your computer broke. All your stuff is stored in the hard drive, but in the olden times, all your files and all your stuff would be stored on your floppy disk. So all you had to buy is a new computer. Then it would be exactly the same because you have your floppy disk, and that would already have all the information on them. The ENIAC was 27 tons and took up 1,800 square feet. That is huge. 27 tons. It's like a semi-truck, maybe even heavier than the semi-truck. Keyboard tricks. Typewriter is the longest word you can write using the letters on one row of your keyboard of your computer. Storage. The first 1 gigabyte hard drive was announced in 1980, which weighed about 550 pounds. If you can see now, in the computers that we use, we have 1 terabyte, which is 1,000 gigabytes, and 500 gigabytes. It had a price tag of $40,000. From 2000 to 2015, we have gone to 250 megabytes in SD cards to 250 gigabytes in micro SD cards. Just like this, as you can see, 128, 250. Doug Engelbart invented the first computer mouse around 1964, which was made of wood. The most expensive computer lens is the gold Boolean wireless mouse, and it's $36,000. Thank you for visiting my website. And yeah, that's pretty much a tour of my website.